Hello there, welcome back to Beauty Bees. If you have been here for a very long time, you might remember me putting together this rainbow palette several months ago. I think it's been almost a year, if not even a little bit longer. Well, I really have been enjoying this palette. I think it's a really fun color story. I like having this sort of curated to my tastes rainbow, but I just want to refresh today. I thought I have purchased so many new eyeshadows over the last year. I've actually gotten into singles a little bit more. Most of the, I don't know if it's quite most, but many of the shades in this palette are repressed. And now I have singles that are a lot better quality and that I purchased individually rather than a lot of these shades, especially, I got from a Wet n Wild palette that I purchased for like $7. And there are better performing shades that I've purchased, and I spent more money on them, so I want to get my use out of them. And today, we're going to do some reorganizing to make that a reality. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just deconstruct this palette. Alright, so it turns out that I didn't have quite enough storage for all of these shades when I'm not using this palette. However, I am going to be refilling this palette, so no big deal. I did leave out 3 shades. I have Pinup from Tarte, which is probably my single favorite eyeshadow. Glass Bowl from ColourPop, which is like a blue-brown duochrome. It's very beautiful. It's kind of a classic shade. And then On a Whimsy, which is this beautiful Diet Coke can silver. I am pretty sure that I want to have these in the new palette, so I figured what was the point in putting them away. I think these 3 are going to be the foundation of the more neutral row or column of this palette, or at least the more gray-toned neutrals. I think that another shade that might be nice to add into that mix would be, let's go with this one. This is from Sydney Grace. It's the shade Traveling Elegance. I mean, they are all shimmery, but I don't really mind that. I love an all shimmer look. So, for the moment, let's just stick those in. And we can, so for the moment, I'm just going to stick them in and we can build out from there, swap out. They're magnetic. It's not like I'm gluing these down. Nothing's set in stone. Okay. So I think the next step is just to pick out some shades that I would really like to have in my palette. Okay, I might have a type. I think that's the realization that I'm coming to. So, I have some purple here, I have some blue here, actually quite a bit of this sort of gray-blue color. And that's after I stopped myself because I was going to pull some other sort of grayish blue shades. I was thinking that shade would be fun. I wanted to pull in this one. I was thinking about bringing this one in. I think that I need, clearly I should have sort of a gray-blue column in here because that's definitely something I am drawn to. It's something I like. But I kind of need to narrow it down because I don't need to have 7. So what are the most different ones here, I think, is the question. Well, these 2, I think I could almost use as purples. This one shifts a little bit more pink. This one shifts a little bit more blue-green. So, they're different. Let's use this silvery shade as the lightest. This is, I think, Starboy. Yes, this is Starboy from Luxie. That can be, actually, that could go in the silver row, couldn't it? I like that. I think I'm going to keep it that way. Now, this is probably the deepest of the bunch, so let's put that in. This is a purple, but I like it. I think it could go with the blues too. And then because we're here, let's just stick the purple in. That's going to be the deepest purple I own. Next up, those are similar, but not like overwhelmingly so, I feel. And then, how about that? That's a little same, but I don't know if I care. Oh, here's a blue that I passed over at first. That would actually give some contrast to this row. Let's move some things around. I like that better. That's nice. Are these maybe a little, those are different, but I don't know if they're really different enough. Let's just move everything up a little bit. I feel like there's some more difference in the textures, if not the tones there. I don't know. Which one of these two do you guys think? I'm kind of thinking that the brighter blue gives me a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's doing a little bit more for me today. All right, so now we've already got our purple row started. Feels like this is definitely going to end up in the purple row. Should I make this whole thing shimmery? Would that be fun, or would that be overwhelming and make me not use this? Let's make it all shimmery. Why not? It can just be the palette that I know I reach for when I want a fun little pop of shimmer. Okay, so I don't need the matte. Ho-ho! So many opportunities opening up here. I think that this is probably like the deepest, most different purple shimmer that I have, though this is also a shimmer. You know what? I like that. Let's do it. And then I would like to have something that's a little bit more on the blue side of purple, and this I think fits the bill. This is Charmed, again from Luxie. I have a lot of Luxie shadows. I have more on my way, on their way to me. Oops, but you know, that's just how it is today. Pink seems like the natural next step, right? So let's do that. I definitely want this pink because that is beautiful. I think it's going to be pink and red because I really don't have that much red, and there's only 6 columns in this palette. Let's see, there's so many pretty pinks. This shade is beautiful, and then, ooh, Decisions. I think that if I was making this for summer, I would probably stick this bright pink from ColourPop in. But I think that Earthshine is actually a better fit for this time of year. And I think it marries a little bit better with the blues and the purples that I have. So let's put those in and see how we're looking. I love that. Look at that shade from Copacetic. What is that even called? Should You Need Us? That is just shining away in there. Gorgeous. Okay, so I need to figure out what these 2 rows are going to be. I think that I want this row to be sort of a brown row, and then maybe this one should be like my greens and yellows. I'm not huge into yellows in particular, so I don't have a ton, and I don't want to put any mattes in, so we're done with that. Maybe I don't even need any yellows. Yeah, I mean, the only yellow that I would really be super interested in putting in is this, but I feel like this doesn't really, it doesn't match the feeling that I get from the rest of the palette. I feel like the rest of it is relatively muted, and I think like this really light minty green, which I think is actually, yes, it is actually called mint chip, fits in better than that yellow did. Honestly, this might be a little too primary for the rest of the palette, but we shall see. Actually have a lot of green eyeshadow. This is another Luxie shade, which I adore. Adore. Goodness. Talking is difficult sometimes. And then this is Phone Home. I didn't realize that it's an E.T. reference until right now. I am out of it. Goodness. And then this beautiful white with a green sheen. I don't know if you can see it on camera because I can't see my viewfinder, but that is, yeah, that needs to be in the palette. That's necessary. So let's see. Of the other four, I definitely want this because I just feel like this fits with the palette more than anything else does. I don't know. Let's see. My eye keeps going to that green. I don't think it suits the palette as well as that one does. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that. So sorry, ColourPop. I think you managed to get completely, well, not completely weeded out, but my two new acquisitions sure did. And then we've already talked, I want Glass Bull in there. And I want this to be another neutral row. So again, no mattes, so that can go. But I do want this shade, which I think is Joker. Yes. Now those look really similar together, but this is like a charcoal purple, and this is a blue-brown, like we talked about earlier. Otherwise, let's see. This is a beautiful, beautiful shade. This is Foxy Lady. It is like the most gorgeous, cool-toned, easy one shadow look. Stunning. Love it. And then let's go with something a little bit on the lighter side. This is Get Naked, which is almost like a taupe white. It's really interesting. Definitely belongs in the palette. And let's just put these in and see how they look. I think I want just a little bit more difference. I know that these shades are different when they're actually applied, but just next to each other, they're not giving me what I want. So let's try. I think that looks a little bit better. Here's Wild Child. This has a little bit more of like a blue to it. Honestly, I really like this. I think this is it. I think this is what I'm going with. So here is the final version. I think that this is not what I sort of set out to make at the beginning. I wanted to make like a palette that I could use in a very similar way to the one that I had previously, where it was like a full rainbow palette with a nice mix of matte and shimmer, a nice mix of neutral and colorful, while maintaining that rainbow color scheme. But I think that this looks really nice. It looks enticing to me. I want to use this palette. Really, I'm hoping to switch this out a lot sooner than I did last time. So it's not like I'll be spending a year with this palette like the last one. Anyway, I think that about wraps things up. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing if you did. Thanks again, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!